Michelle, are you ready?
I was born ready.
She's an award-winning author, speaker, and podcast host who serves on the National Faith Advisory Council. She supported Donald J. Trump for president before it was cool, from her she shed in her beautiful backyard. This is the Michelle Moore Show.
Like miners of old, on a search for pure gold, like ancient explorers, venture outside their borders. My heart is yearning to go somewhere new. I long to explore the depths of you, to explore the depths of you. Latitude and longitude and every thought in between, to know you are and all we could be, the ways that you move, the dreams we could dream, to know the depths of you. Like a ship out at sea, going where your current leads, like a poetic scholar. My thoughts long to wander, and this mind is burning to know something new. I long to explore the depths of you, to explore the depths of you. Dream to know the depths of you.
Hi, everybody. So glad that you're with us today. I just want you to know we were not here yesterday. It was my fault. I did not feel well. Sometimes a girl just got to take a nap. I was not doing well and slept and slept and slept some more. So apparently I went out of town on Saturday to go see Jack and Margie Flynn and have lunch with them, a long lunch. We were there 4 hours. But I think it just caught up with me. It was 10 hours in the car that day, and I think it just caught up with me. So, but Mark was able to work around and accommodate to be here today. So if you're like, today's not Monday, what's Mark here for? That's what's going on. And so just wanted to let you know. Also, right before we bring him in, I wanted to say, so I see where JBJ Beanie now has a new username, Piers Mom 1. And he says, oh, and thanks for the prayers. I have a tentative job. So you got to update us, make sure we know what's going on. I know that there were some prayers for some favor for you to get that job. And so we're so excited to see that update. Praise God. Okay, so we got so much to talk about today. In fact, we had to push a couple of things to next week because it's just crazy up in here. And so let's go on ahead. And like I saw where someone said it's only Tuesday, but it's already been a long week. I agree, sister. I agree. Let's go on ahead and bring in Lieutenant Mark Taylor. Hi, Lieutenant Mark Taylor. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always an honor to be on the show. I know I was trying to be accommodating by yesterday, but I don't want people to get used to that because I don't like being accommodating,
You got a reputation to uphold.
Got a reputation to uphold, man.
That's right. All right. Well, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about the flooding. Okay.
Right.
We got some funny things at the end, but right now we're going to talk about what's going on. All right. And so the first one is recently in the last couple of days, we've had all different kinds of flooding. It's a lot of stuff that's going on. But the first one, let's look at New York City, this BMW.
Bad flooding here in Nanuet. We have a BMW that's underwater.
Yeah. All right. Now let's look at the subway in New York City. Yeah, I don't know about you, but that would scare me.
Somebody had to wade through that to get home. Now, can you imagine how nasty that water is? It's probably got sewage mixed in with it and everything else.
No. All right. The next one is New Jersey. Let's take a look. Okay, you know what just came to my mind, Mark, as we're seeing all this flooding, and God promised to never flood the earth again. But, here we are. We got other people apparently trying to flood it instead. Right. So evil, demonic stuff going on. Let's look at this guy in South Dakota. This is all recent. Let's take a look. Okay, craziness. You said that you're seeing some craziness in Florida and that the sky looks similar to that? Did it look similar?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Remember we passed that beautiful law here in Florida that says you can't have chemtrails? Well, every day I go outside and what's looking back at me? Chemtrails for all to see. Mm-hmm. So, this is what they're doing. You got the high frequencies that they're bombarding. You've got the NEXRAD radars that are bombarding with frequencies. You got all these things coming into what do you want to call it? A perfect storm, if you will. And they're generating these storms. Yesterday, literally over Florida, Central Florida, I looked like the same exact thunderstorm head that one we just saw in South Dakota. I mean, this stuff is not normal. Me and my wife are sitting on the couch, and like I'm born and raised here in Central Florida. We're at the lightning capital of the world here, but the thunder and the lightning, Michelle, is not sounding normal. It is literally, it's sounding way off. It is sounding like nothing you've ever heard, literally. So this is how you know this is being man-generated.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's look also. So we've got an image here. It says a total of 229 flash flood warnings, and advisories have been issued across 26 states. And this was in one day.
One day.
That's crazy.
One day. We actually right now, as we speak, as we're doing this live interview, I have a low that is sitting off the coast of Jacksonville that is spinning on top of us trying to form right now. I got literal some rain here right now as we're doing this. So they're doing everything they can to generate as much rain, as much chaos, and as much damage and destruction as possible.
Okay, just craziness. All right, the next one, look at this image also. So 25,000 plus lightning strikes within a 24-hour period, everywhere from Tampa to Daytona. Of course, you're in the middle of all this. Tell us about it, Mark.
Yeah. Do we have his quote up there? I mean, or we decided to leave that out.
Oh, I think producer Ron cropped it out. I just saw at the bottom where he says over 25,000 lightning strikes. And then he's like,
right, but he gives description up there in the description. So I don't know if we still have that or not. Can we put it up or no? Okay.
While producer Ron's grabbing that, I just want to say, while producer Ron's grabbing that and pulling that through, Mark, when you're looking at this map, I mean, 25,000 lightning strikes.
Okay, so we're in the lightning capital of the world here. And a lot of this stuff happens because you get the two sea breezes from the East Coast and West Coast collide over the I-4 corridor, and we get a lot of thunderstorms right along the I-4 corridor. Now, here's the problem. When you're seeing this stuff jacked like this, and this is actually Channel 2 out of Orlando, and this is the meteorologist out of Orlando who's calling this stuff out, saying, what is going on with the weather? This is not normal. And so he's talking about this electrical, and I can't until, like, there we go. Here we go. So he says right here, this is 25,000 lightning strikes in 24 hours. What the H is this happening in Florida? This isn't a thunderstorm. This is a grid-targeted electrical onslaught. From Tampa to Daytona Beach, the sky lit up like a dang war zone, over 25,000 strikes in one day. And we're supposed to believe this is just weather? Florida's being lit up like a Tesla coil. HARP, directed energy, geoengineering, you decide. This is from a mainstream media meteorologist, guys.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's why I wanted people to see who this was, because this is mainstream media calling this out. They're even telling you this is not normal. This is why I've been so upset with Trump and the administration right now, because I'm telling people, I've been screaming from the rooftops that this year, this hurricane season is going to be cataclysmic, like we've never seen before, unless they do something to stop this. This is how dangerous this is. They're not using nuclear bombs anymore. They're not using missiles anymore. They're using weather weapons now. And they're going to blame it on climate change. They're going to blame it on Mother Nature. They're going to blame it on everything else other than the technology that we have that's driving these weapons right now. And we have yet to get control of these weapons, but yet we keep seeing destruction after destruction after destruction.
Okay, so Mark, I hear what you're saying, but I had something kind of come to me recently, and then even you said something right before we went live. So, and that is, how do we know that this isn't just the deep state and this is out of Trump's hands? So we can't be too upset with Trump if Trump doesn't have the capacity to stop it, because he's got, this multi-generational crazy deep state cabal working against him.
True. However, if his own was it Secretary of Health, RFK Jr. came out and said DARPA is the one behind this. Now, if he can call it out, why can't the president? The president has not uttered even a word about this. This is what makes me angry. I've said all along, there's four things he's got to get control of: illegals, electoral process, the weather, and I forget the fourth one, but there's a fourth one.
Is this the storm that is upon us? Is this what we were talking about? I don't know.
I don't know, but I know that this geoengineering thing is massive. It's even bigger than the illegal immigration issue, honestly, because just about every single government agency is involved in this mess. Yeah. And we've been talking about this for a long time, and you can't tell me Trump doesn't know about this. That's my point.
I know he knows. There's no way he doesn't. We all know.
So why does he not just stand at the podium, look at his Secretary of Defense and say, hey, get me some answers in 72 hours. I want to know what's going on and who's behind it. That's it. That's all he's got to do. And watch, that would be like dropping a nuclear bomb over the entire globe right there. But why has he not said anything to this point? Why do we sit back? Look, I have watched my state being torn apart 4 storms in a row. And it's like dropping a tactical nuke on some of these places. And I'll tell you, you've been to North Carolina. You've seen what happened in North Carolina. That happens in Florida on a consistent basis. And nobody has done anything to stop this mess. People have had to rebuild 3 times in a row now. Some people have. They've had to deal with FEMA. They've had to deal with insurance. They have to deal with their permitting, local permitting. I've seen the literal hell my sister has been through, just her house alone. And so you times that times 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Some people have had to do this. And see, this is where I say that and I'm not slamming. I'm just saying in reality. This is where there's a disconnect with a billionaire or people of Congress who have money, millionaires, because they have the money to replace things with cash. They don't have to deal with FEMA. If one hit Mar-a-Lago right now and wiped it off the map, he'd just replace it in cash. I'll deal with FEMA and the insurance company later. Or he has it done. He can get on a jet and go to 10,000 different locations where he can get away from and escape these storms. The middle and lower class can't do that. We either have to write it out, and we have to sit here and sweat it out for weeks and months on end with no power and go through this whole process all over again. See, this is the part that they don't understand because they've never been through it.
T Mathis 44 says, and most insurances don't cover or doesn't cover acts of God, just like pharmaceutical doesn't cover vax injuries.
Yep.
All right. So that makes sense. Okay, let's read a couple of viewer comments that are talking about this. So Leal 3115 says Texas is getting destroyed little by little and nobody is stopping it. Interesting you say that. So one of the things I've been thinking about too that nobody seems to talk about. Do you remember Texas getting that massive snow ice storm and back 5 years ago during the whole slowing the spread and we were all at home? Do you remember that? And a lot of people died. People were, Texas they were slammed then. And so that's a good point. Destroyed little by little. That's a really good point because that's right. K5 says Mark Taylor thunder in South Louisiana has been very odd, strange, not normal for 4 years.
That's right.
People think I'm crazy, but I'm hearing very strange thunder for 4 years. My son agrees with me. Janine says it's geoengineering. It's dangerous. ABC just said it's climate change. Oh my gosh! Of course they did.
See?
Of course they did.
And that's what I just said a minute ago.
Since my blood boils over this, of course, because they got to push that agenda. Yep. And so Jay Kreider says crazy amount to rain and lightning in let's see here in Southeast Georgia for over a week. I'm hearing the same thing, I think, in Arkansas. And so viewer Natalie said that they haven't even had summer yet. I don't know what that means, but I asked her, what does that mean? I think she's just meaning that the temperatures are not high. If she says they have had so much rain over the last month to 6 weeks, it's crazy.
Look, we're in the hottest part of the year here in Florida. So this is when it starts getting dangerous as far as the storms go, because that's when the storms really start kicking up, is with the heat, the humidity here in Florida. When you've got 90-something degrees and it's 100% humidity out here, July, August, September, this is when our bad months here, and especially with hurricane season, was it September 15th being the peak of hurricane season. So, again, they're jacking with the weather. They're jacking with the frequencies. We've talked about this before. So why nobody's feeling good. Everybody's feeling it. When you got multiple people sitting here saying the exact same thing I said, where they're either getting vertigo or they're getting headaches. They're getting sore throats. Some of these next rad towers. They're talking about the same thing with the lightning and the thunder. It doesn't sound right. Something's off with it. You know what I mean? What do you do? Again, I go back to, this is my frustration with the president, because he's been in office now. Really, he's been in office for 8 years, Michelle. Let's be honest. Okay. He went through this whole thing with Biden. He was getting briefed on stuff. We all know, even though he was not technically in office, he was still around and knows what's going on. So we've had 8 years to deal with this and get our act together and find out what's going on with this stuff. I'm passionate about this because I'm sick and tired of seeing these needless casualties of war that are taking place. Our country's being destroyed by nuclear weapons. They're just simply called hurricanes, or they're simply called floods. You know what I mean? It's just, they don't have to be a tactical nuke or a small suitcase nuke to take out of a city. All they're going to do is use the weather weapons right now, and the technology that they're using right now is increasingly. Look at the AI coming online. I'm sure we'll probably get into this as we go along in the show. Look at the AI that's coming online, guys, and this stuff's going to stagger you when we show you some of this stuff of how advanced we truly are. Times that just with the weather, and they can generate hurricanes. They can steer them. They can amplify them. They can do whatever they want. Yeah,
sure. All right. Now, you had another image that we were going to look at, earthquakes. So you said there's 4, and this is all DARPA. But so what's the time zone or the timeline of these earthquakes? Producer Ron, do you have the image? And so with the earthquakes, there's 4 earthquakes. Are we talking about during this storm, these storms that have been going on down in Florida?
I think this happened with yesterday or something like that. This all happened around the world. All on the same day. And I don't know if DARPA's behind this or not. I just know that this is technology driven. We have the technology to make earthquakes. We have the technology to control the weather. We have all this technology. My point to this is by showing this to people is that the deep state is pulling out everything they have in their arsenal to attack the people globally right now, because we're not the only ones dealing with these floods, guys. We're not the only ones. But we are literally, they're pulling out everything, weapon of warfare they have to try to stop Trump and his agenda. And so at what point do we take action to stop what's happening here? There has to be an offensive move here to stop this at some point.
Yeah. Also got a couple of viewers talking about how the Navy has stopped us from being able to see NEXRAD radar by September the 1st. And so I had not
I wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah. Viewer Natalie, so why I wanted to go back. I didn't see if you responded back earlier, and I see she's live on the show. So commenting. So viewer Natalie, why did you say earlier today that you all hadn't experienced summer yet? Is it because of what I was saying earlier about the storms? And so it's not getting hot enough. I've noticed that it'll be in the 80s, like low 80. In fact, we didn't have, our summer was delayed here by a good month, and we were having weird chemtrails and the sun was just never out. So I noticed it just doesn't get warm, if that makes sense, like it would normally on a normal summer day.
Maybe we should ask Augustus. I'm sure he could probably tell us.
Oh, you mean the one that wasn't doing anything and he's completely clean?
Yeah. Right.
So Augustus is the one we were talking about last week and showed you with the photos with him, or the photo with him standing with Bill Clinton, former President Bill Clinton. He's the 25-year-old that we're all supposed to be, I guess, believing somehow that he's in charge. I told you I spell skunk with that too. By the way, too, I just want to go back and say, I told you that the whole chemtrail thing with Florida, that law was a big nothing burger, because I'd already learned that lesson last year with Tennessee. So called that one. I'm 2 for 2 so far today. We'll see where I mess up. But anyways, okay. So let's go on ahead and talk about, there's just talking about all of this also makes me think back, because we're still just fresh with Texas. So we got the Austin Fire Association says that Fire Chief Baker denied pre-deployment to the Kerrville 2 days prior, which was where they got flooded, prior to the flood when it began. So Mark, you've got an article. Will you read some of that article?
Yeah, so Baker was accused by the Austin Firefighters Association of refusing to deploy the firefighters to Kerr County to aid those impacted by the flash floods. The FA said it was absolutely outrageous and egregious dereliction of duty for him to deny the deployment of the firefighters. The FA president has called for his removal, and a vote of no confidence will be held between July 15th and 17th. What's the date today?
The 15th, isn't it?
Oh, man, let's hope this goes through. Let's hope they boot his hind end out of there.
Yeah.
And so, look, they have right here, Austin Firefighter special operations teams are specially trained for hill country swiftwater rescue and are some of the best, if not the best, swiftwater boat teams in the state of Texas. And this guy denied it. Guys, this is where I've been screaming with people. This is great at the federal level with DEI. This is where it comes into play at the state and local level right here with this DEI garbage that's going on. This guy denied it, just like Karen Bass did, or just like out there we dealt with the DEI, LA fire chief and deputy chief and all that out there. This is where it comes in. This is going to take years upon years to clean out down to the state and local levels. This is how it affects you as the individual at the state and local levels. This is why people have got to get involved, and they got to do action on the local level, because you've got to clean this stuff out. And it's always, why is it that America always has to be reactive versus proactive? It's always after a disaster that we wake up and go, oh, this guy's DEI, he refused it. Why didn't you deal with it beforehand? You should have dealt with this beforehand, and none of this would be taking place. That's my motto with all of this stuff. I am proactive. I don't react, I proact. And so that's why it gets me in trouble sometimes. And so, but again, he'll probably be allowed to pension out and leave his job and have a pension for the rest of his life, probably get $150,000 a year, probably more than that he probably makes from his pension, and nothing will become of it, instead of him being arrested and placed in jail for dereliction of duty, which is what should happen. Criminal charges should be filed against these people that are doing this. Not allowed to pension out. They should lose their pension. For something like this, he should lose his rank, lose his pension. He should lose it all and serve jail time, period.
I agree. Okay. Viewer Natalie said, okay, she's the one that I was saying. She said it's like this, no summer, still hadn't got summer. We're July 15th. Okay. So she responded back and said, too much rain. It's mid 80s. Normal summer here is dried, crunchy grass and high 90s into the hundreds. It's more of a never ending spring. Same thing I was explaining here that I've been noticing. And so, because the sun's never out, and you see what I'm saying? And so, okay, now we've had the sun out a couple of days this last week. And so it was like, oh, okay, we're finally having summer. But I'm wondering if that's because if you don't have the sunlight out, it's going to be hard to grow crops.
Yep.
I think they're not going to flourish. You're not going to have stuff growing. And then also the whole vitamin D thing too. I mean, there's just a long list of stuff, but so we all are in agreement that something is going on and it's insanity. And so we'll see as this continues. Okay. So let's talk about Kash Patel. I know you love to talk about Kash.
Do we have to?
Okay. Well, so now let's talk about, actually, let me rephrase that. Let's not talk about Kash Patel. Let's talk about Kash Patel's girlfriend. Okay. So we hadn't really covered her. It's time to cover her. I've pulled 2 videos. Producer Ron, let's look at the first one real quick.
Is the director of the FBI caught up in an Israeli honeypot operation? All right, here's the context. Quote, some social media users have wondered whether the FBI and the U.S. Justice Department's refusal to release the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients could have something to do with Alexis Wilkins, the 26-year-old girlfriend of 45-year-old FBI Director Kash Patel. This is what people online are pointing to, the fact that Patel's girlfriend, Alexis Wilkins, works for PragerU, which is a media company that supposedly espouses American values, except for the fact that it is run by a former Israeli military intelligence officer. Now, I did a bunch of digging, and unfortunately, there's actually not a lot of public information to go off of in terms of Alexis Wilkins' background. Now, what I was able to find is that her father worked for Gillette and that her mother was in aerospace and pharmaceuticals. It also says that they lived in England and Switzerland before settling in Fayetteville, Arkansas when she was 9. It also says that she attended College du Le Monde International School in Switzerland. Now, interestingly, ChatGPT is calling this a strange biographical gap in that she has no visible friend network or public high school college cohort interviews, which they say is unusual for a public figure in entertainment, and that if a Mossad asset were inserted early in life, these gaps would be precisely where you would hide alternate history or handler training. Dr. Simon Goddick says that Alexis Wilkins is nearly 20 years younger than Kash and also works for an NGO that's basically Israeli intelligence, that's PragerU that he's referring to, and he says, seriously, why would an attractive young woman date a not-so-attractive Indian American? Classic honeypot. I mean, I don't know. Who are we to really judge what people are attracted to and not attracted to? Anyway, I'm not sure what's true or what's not true, but evidently these are, quote, classic elements used in honeypot operations: soft power, ideological alignment, and sexual emotional entanglement.
All right, let's look at video number 2. This gives you a couple of details. It overlaps a little, but this gives you some very important details about her. Here we go.
Wouldn't it be crazy if Kash Patel's girlfriend was an Israeli intelligence officer? Yes, meet Alexis Wilkins. She is the CEO of an organization called PragerU. No, it's not a university. It's just like a lobbying group that promotes American values. Yeah, f***ing right. But here, let's do the background here. She was born in Los Angeles, but moved to Israel at a very young age. Miss Marissa did. I guess her original name was Marissa Straight. But yeah, she did her primary education in Israel and then served in military intelligence unit 820 of the IDF. Okay, for those of you unaware, unit 8200 is the most advanced global cyber team probably in the world, so no big deal. Yeah, so I'm sure she really does love Kash for who he is, and she's definitely not his handler, and how dare you even suggest such a thing.
Yeah. All right. So mom was in aerospace and pharmaceuticals. Nothing suspicious there. Aerospace and pharmaceuticals, like crap.
Yeah.
She got the whole Israel connection. I don't even know. This just
what sticks out to me is she worked for Gillette.
Dad did. Yeah.
Or
Dad did.
she did?
Yeah.
Or he did?
I think it was Daddy.
Okay. Well, whoever, it doesn't matter. It's Gillette Connection. That's what
Mhm.
sticks out to me.
Yeah.
If you don't
just
know what that is, do your research, guys.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. So just so everybody knows, it's you know, what was the whole thing sing sang sang? What was
Yeah.
it? Ming
Yeah,
fang,
I don't
fang,
know.
fang?
Something like that.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
what's his
it's
face? I
honey,
don't even remember the
another
guy's
one.
name.
Yeah, another honeypot. All right, so we always seem, you know, just when you think that we won't have another video on this because it'll get better, but yet it never does. So this is the Democrat mayor of Minneapolis. His name is Jacob Frey, and he was seen speaking in Arabic. Listen very closely. Yeah, fang fang. I knew I was close. Speaking in Arabic and celebrating Somalis' independence. This is what you're fixing to see. But the problem about the Somalis' independence was that they were celebrating here in, you know, the United States. Let's take a look.
Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Hanulato! Somalia Igea! Somalia Igea! Somalia Igea! Amaga Egowa, Jacob Frey, Yarub! Doka Magalada, Minneapolis! Mufiate! Sate!
Unbelievable. Well, this is happening all over the country. We know that. And this is happening under, unfortunately, Trump's watch. This is where the immigration stuff is out of hand. It's out of control. Tom Homan has been screaming about this. He's got to get 7,000 people a day out of here in order to just remove the ones Biden let in here, not including any surplus that was already here. We already had probably close to 15 million already here. So we've got, some are saying well over 30 million over in this country right now. So some are saying, I don't know what there's like 40 million. I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, but we're only getting 1,500 to 2,000 people a day out of here. So
it's nowhere near what it needs to be.
Nowhere near what it needs to be in order for him to get everyone out of here that Biden let in here by the end of Trump's term, is what he's saying.
All right. We'll be seeing something from him in just a minute, but let's keep going. So here's now I think this is treason. We didn't talk about this before, but so we have elected officials that are giving a heads up about ICE coming in and doing raids in certain areas. This one is a mayor of in the Southern California area. Let's take a look. I think this is treason.
A warning for some Inland Empire residents to stay home due to ongoing ICE raids.
The City of Paris has received reports of ongoing ICE operations within the area. We urge all residents to remain calm, stay indoors when possible, and know your rights. Do not go out unless necessary. Stay at home and do not open the door to strangers.
That is Mayor Michael Vargas of Paris. He released that public service announcement yesterday on social media. And Bishop Alberto Rojas of San Bernardino had a similar message for Catholics. He issued a decree excusing them from attending Mass if the ongoing raids have left them afraid to leave home. The San Bernardino Diocese consists of 92 parishes in both San Bernardino and Riverside counties. Last month, ICE agents were reported at 2 parishes in Montclair and Highland.
It's insane.
Why aren't they arresting both of them, the bishop and the mayor?
Yeah.
I'd be arresting both of them.
Not okay.
Nope.
Black Diamond said shouldn't be legal for foreigners to hold office in America. I agree.
Yep.
Joy Unspeakable says blessings, Michelle, Mark, and Ron from California. Thank you for always providing truth with conviction. Thank you so much. So this is just yet another one that is betraying our country, and it seems like it's on a day basis, every day after day, person after person betraying. I mean, they're betraying us, the Americans that want to defend America.
Right. And look, how long have I been saying here that God's been showing that how many churches have been aiding and abetting these illegals?
Oh,
how many of these nonprofits that are churches that have been aiding and abetting all these guys, helping them across the border, whatever the case, those are the ones that need to be shut down and incarcerated.
Well, and there's no telling. I mean, like, look at some of these Catholic charities operations that are down there. There's no
Right.
telling. They're not just aiding and abetting. I think they're actually in on the trafficking itself.
Trafficking.
As
Absolutely. Yeah.
okay, so apparently this pot farm, I guess just something I would have never thought I would say, a pot farm. This pot farm had an ice raid, and it went sideways as far as people throwing rocks at the ice officers and stuff. But take a listen. Now some of the truth is coming out as to what actually the situation was. Let's listen here.
Hey, so just a quick note about that ICE raid on that farm that all you liberals lost your fucking minds about. And Gavin Newsom said kids running from tear gas, crying on the phone because their mother was just taken from the fields. Did y'all know that was a pot farm where they had the kids working in the fields, and the farm was owned by a dude who's been convicted of molesting children and has additional pending charges for a kid? Oh, and just a little nugget on top of that. There were 10 kids there, 8 of whom were unaccompanied. 8 of them were not there with family members because they were being trafficked. They were being trafficked to work on the farm as illegal labor, as slave labor, by a man who has not only been convicted of molesting children, but also is going to be on trial soon for another kid. And you threw rocks at the agents that came to save those kids. And you think you're the good guys.
See how it works?
Yep.
Okay, so this one's a shocker for me. So NGOs, this is Eyes of a Lady, says NGOs are shopping and delivering food to illegals in California so that they won't have to leave home and evade ICE, and so they're able to evade ICE this way.
This should be treason.
Yes.
This should be
This is
treason,
insanity.
flat out.
This is insanity.
Yep.
I'm sorry. It's just infuriating.
Yep.
Okay, the next one is there's a guy, and he's got a warning to MAGA. That's us, I guess. He says Sharia law is coming, and he has a whole lot more to say. So let's take a listen to what he has to say.
Okay, MAGA, it's time that you learn Sharia law. Now that we Muslims are slowly taking over your country, starting with New York, soon, inshallah. And then not only are we taking over your country, we're bringing in communism. So you better get used to the idea of giving up your money and share it with the poor. And yeah, just a few things you gotta know about Sharia law. No more pork, so that has to go. Then you're gonna have to pay some sort of tax for being non-Muslim, of course. And yeah, so it's time to learn some Arabic, and yeah, time to put your wives in burqas, because that's going to be next. So yeah, so welcome to the Islamic State of America.
All right. There was a guy who took this and then stitched in his reply. I would say that he was from the South. He was an American. I'm pretty sure he drank or drinks, and probably totes a number of guns. And he had quite the word to say, but there were too many cuss words, and we could not just bleep it all out. And this is a family show. I will say, though, it was hilarious when he made the point about getting into an argument that you can't win when you try to do something with these white women down in the South. So the guy did an awesome job.
Yep.
And so, Mark, what do you say about all this?
First off, good luck, because it's not going to happen. So, again, at some point with this immigration stuff, we've got to get control of it. We cannot allow, look, we are founded on Christian principles. We are, fundamentally, we are a Christian nation, even though we have gone south in some ways, spiritually, in a lot of ways. God is still going to move. God is still going to, I believe, bless America to a point where we come back from all of this. We're in the darkest part of this whole thing right now. And so, but the thing is we cannot allow a foothold like we have right now, because once you allow a foothold, foothold's already here. They've already stormed the beaches, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
And this is why I've been saying it's going to take a very heavy hand to get these people out of here. And you cannot sit back on your hands and be lackadaisical, or the femininity like we have with so many women in these high power positions right now, and be able to do this. We're going to show someone here in a minute who truthfully, in my opinion, should be in charge of all of it.
All right. So Angel 4567 says, my heart is going out to all the ICE agents right now and all that they have to deal with. I think we have no idea what they deal with, because you know good and well that they're seeing children and they're dealing with that kind of stuff. There's no telling what kind of circumstances and conditions these children are in and what they've endured. And so that's a whole nother thing. Janine says, it's true. Everyone look up how many new mosques are built in your area. I have 8 new in my county in 5 years. Janine, where do you live? 8 new in 5 years. Are you living in Texas or somewhere else? I know, like you were just talking a little while ago about the shooter in Smyrna, just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, not far from us. And so there's a new mosque that's down there as well. I don't know if it's opened yet. I think it is. But I remember being shocked a few years ago when it got approved, and it was, you know, like, what in the world is going on?
Well, we got to remember, who did we have in the White House that was a Muslim that allowed all this to start? Obama.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's think about this. So we were just looking at Minneapolis, right? Was it Minneapolis? Wasn't that where a lot of these people were being dropped off in the middle of the night while he was president, while Obama was president?
I can't remember where they were being dropped off. I think they had several locations where they were dropping people off in the middle of the night.
And now we see what these events look like, and they're all, look, this isn't about, and I saw someone say, I don't like it when other countries' agendas or whatever are being supported. It's not another country. It's another religion.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem. It's not about another country. That's already bad enough. This is worse. We're in worse than that. And that's where we're talking about what Mark said a minute ago. Nailed it, Mark, by the way. Stronghold.
Yeah. Yeah, they have a stronghold. Period. They're getting a stronghold is what they're doing right now. So it's going to take a literal act of God to get them out of here.
Yeah. Kazadu says, a ton of mosques in my home state of Michigan, and been there for years now. See, I think during Obama, he was shipping them over to Michigan, and they were all over. And so, yeah, we'll see also this other one. But okay, so let's take a look. So Tom Homan was speaking at a Turning Point event. It was called a Student Action Summit. A guy says, it's hard to hear, but in the very beginning, you hear the boy, I guess the guy, you never show him. But this is who Tom Homan is responding to and talking about, okay? But the guy yells something like, are you MS-13? And so just in case you miss what he says at the beginning and what Tom, and then you're going to see clearly how Tom responds. Let's watch this.
That is not what they wanted. They're playing the long game. Let's release them in the community. Wait 3 or 5 years. Pardon me?
Are you an MS-13 member? It says so.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I got a question. No. I got a question for you. Why don't you come up here and hand me that picture? Bring it. USA! USA! All right. You got morons like this all over the country. This guy wouldn't like the surface nation. This guy ain't got the balls to be an ICE officer. He hasn't got the balls to be a Border Patrol agent. This guy lives in his mother's basement. The only thing that surprises me, you don't have purple hair and a nose ring. Get out of here, you loser. And you're such a badass. Meet me off stage in 13 minutes and 50 seconds. I guarantee you he sits down to pee. Guaranteed. Sanctuary cities. Let me talk about sanctuary cities real quick. Sanctuary cities are pushing back against the Trump agenda. Sanctuary cities are sanctuary for criminals.
Love it. I absolutely love it, man. See, this is the guy who needs to be Secretary of Homeland Security, not brunette, Blondie, or Barbie, whatever she is on Fox News, flipping her hair back and forth with a makeup moment. This is not who we need sitting up there. This is the guy we need running the whole shebang right here. And you'd see this stuff probably come to a stop a whole lot faster with this guy in charge.
It's
But
interesting.
can't blame her, can we? Where's the buck stop? Has to go to President Trump, guys. Sorry.
Julianne says, Mark for president.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh
No.
my goodness. Pierre's mom once says he spanked him. LOL.
Yeah.
Peggy Sue 28 said Tom Homan, what a boss move. Yeah, you just got to call it out. You got to address it right there.
You're not going to hear brunette Barbie saying that, are you?
Yeah.
Doing that kind of thing. No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Upper Girl 7 says Homan has to live separate from his family because he has so many death threats. It's tragic. Keep him in prayer. I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. That's just sick.
That's because he's the threat. She's not.
Yeah. Good point. We hear you. That's a good point. All right. Have you heard about this on the dark web where there's a whole like thing going around where they're going to do a 911 scam? All right, let's take a listen. Let's see this guy explain it.
This is going to sound insane, but this is a warning to America and a warning to the rest of the world. I was just put onto something very serious, and the second I heard it, my heart dropped because it made so much sense. But basically, right now on the dark web, organized crime gangs are coming out with a software called 911 spam, and the idea is simple. Basically, they're going to spam 911 lines with different calls like, hey, there's a kidnapping at CVS, hey, there's a shooting at Walmart, hey, at this address there's a home break-in, whatever. And while these calls are all coming into your local 911, they're going to be breaking into a house near you, they're going to be breaking into a jewelry store near you, whatever. 911 won't know what to respond to, and it's absolutely insane. So stay ready, stay prepared. God bless America. Make sure your family and make sure everyone is prepared for this because this AI shit's about to get real.
All right. So talking about AI.
All right. Well,
Wow.
this is the problem with AI. This is the problem where we don't have control of this stuff yet. This is the problem when even when you have a geographical location where you have, let's say, a hurricane comes in here, or you have catastrophe taking place, whatever it is, you could have a mass shooting going on. 911 is going to tell you you're just going to have to shelter in place, or you're just going to have to defend yourself at this point because nobody's coming. You're on your own at this point. If it's a hurricane or an earthquake, if you're in the epicenter of that earthquake, let's just say Los Angeles for whatever reason, and you're in the epicenter, well, by the time first responders, you got to remember the roads are blocked. First responders can't get to you. 911 lines are overrun. So you are on your own. So this is why we've been saying for years, keep yourself prepared no matter what. You're on your own. You're going to have to treat it like you're on your own for at least 48, 72 hours. So
at least.
At least. So at least have enough, guns, ammo, food, water, whatever you need for that 72 hours to protect you and your family and to survive until first responders can actually get to you or they can clear that mess out. Because you got to remember, even once they clear the 911 stuff out, you're going to have a backlog of true calls that they're going to have to start running. And they're going to have to prioritize depending on what that call actually is.
That's a good point. When I spoke with Jenica out of North Carolina the first week, what she described to me about what happened in that area, that's the stuff that never makes it onto the news. And it's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was shocking. And it's traumatic for those that lived through it, like Jenica. And we just have no idea. You don't know what really happens unless you've been in a situation like that where law enforcement aren't around. People know that, and the thugs come out in full force.
That, or let's say in the middle of all of that, God forbid, someone in your family has a heart attack, drops dead right there, and I'm sorry, we can't get firefighters to you.
Sure.
I mean, how heart-dropping would that be to know that you don't have any help coming whatsoever, that either you work the code right there, that's it, done, over.
Yeah. All right. So this lady apparently did a documentary a bit ago, but she was talking about how people are throwing a fit over these fired state employees. Take a look. She's like comparing it to the two, by the way, also. So, because Trump's fired some state employees, given them a comp package, all that kind of stuff. So, but she's talking about the State Department, employees.
Let me tell you something about all these videos I keep seeing about fired State Department employees tearfully being applauded out of the building and standing there openly weeping in the streets like Jenny from accounting was basically a war hero and everybody's going to need therapy to deal with her leaving. In 2015, I filmed a documentary about how the Obama administration had decimated coal country basically overnight. Thousands and thousands of jobs gone like that. Families were losing their homes and going hungry. I met several people who were now living out of their cars, and leftists didn't give a rip. The day Biden took office, he killed the Keystone Pipeline. 11,000 jobs gone, and the left cheered. When governors like Gavin Newsom shut down their entire state over a flu bug, hundreds of thousands of people instantly found themselves without work. People who had poured everything into their small businesses lost it all. And you didn't care. So you will forgive me if I don't sit over here sobbing into my coffee that less than 2% of the State Department's workforce was laid off with 120 days of taxpayer-funded administrative leave. Maybe they can learn to code.
She's right.
Yep.
It always just depends on, what fills the agenda. And, it's all, so the reason why I wanted to show this too, is just don't fall for it. We need to be aware of these kind of tactics that go on. And many of us don't necessarily always know, and we need to make sure that we're aware of it. Kevin says the Amish are helping with North Carolina. Let me tell you something about the Amish. When I was there, I think it was the first time we went. Producer Ron was with us. There was a young team of, about 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old men that were all Amish males, young men. These guys, Jenica said they eat like crazy. She goes, but they're so productive and get so much done in such a short amount of time. She says it's worth the food we have to feed them. And so They were amazing. And so, I mean, truly, truly amazing, the work they were getting done. They're another level, and they were young and they were great carpenters. It was amazing what they were getting done. And Kevin, you're absolutely spot on. That's the truth. All right, so the next one we want to show you are some clones. Look at these next level clones. If this isn't scary, I don't know what is.
Oh my goodness, this is one of the wildest things I have seen, and this is not your average robot. This is the Clone Alpha by Clone Robotics, and this contains all 206 bones that the human body contains, and they are fully articulated with artificial ligaments and connective tissues. Now, they're very high on the hand function of these robots. I'm going to show you the raw clip in a second, but just listen to this. The hand functions with human level thumbs, surgical precision, a trigger finger, and it is compatible with human tools. And it's not going to walk like other robots. It says, finally, a robot that walks naturally. And it says, do it once and the clone will do it forever. They have a telekinesis training platform. I don't even know how that's possible. This technology is absolutely insane. I guess you can reserve one of these things this year in 2025, but just check out the raw clip and the music that they used.
I don't care what you say. I'm going to tell you something. God's not in any of that.
No. What do you? It can use human tools, which means it can pick up a gun and start shooting people. How about those scissors he had in his hands? He walks around and starts stabbing your family members. How are you supposed to stop something like that?
Yeah. Why?
This is the insanity of some of this stuff right now at this point.
But you have to ask yourself why. Why create that? Why put time and effort and energy? What's the agenda here? What are they preparing for?
Well, it says it memorizes your kitchen layout, it memorizes your tools, it memorizes all kinds of stuff. You show it something one time and that's it. So it can go out here and mow the yard for you if you want. It can do all these different things. But what do you do if the dang thing turns on you?
Okay, well, I don't understand. Like, who in the world is going to be doing that anyways? Because last I checked, a lot of Americans are having a hard time, even at the grocery store, being able to pay for food. They're not going to be buying a clone to mow the yard. You know what I mean? So this doesn't even make sense to me. And wait a minute, I thought we were getting rid of the illegals out of the country so that way Americans could have jobs. I mean, why are we're going to replace them with clones now?
Yep.
That didn't make sense. So now we're going to hire a clone
Robotics.
to go on ahead, robotics to do your yard. And now I've got a young guy doing my yard. So now I'm not going to hire him and just get a clone.
You can probably do your hair, do your nails, all kinds of stuff. I mean, you know.
Oh, well, now that's a different story then. I'm kidding. Oh my gosh. All right. Don't start selling me on it, Mark.
No, I ain't selling you. That thing would tear your head off.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I don't want that thing near me.
That's right. That's right. And so I shared recently that I got rid of my little iRobot little vacuum cleaner thing. I got rid of that. I didn't have it but just a few months. And then I started putting 2 and 2 together and realizing, wait a minute, this sucker is always connecting to the internet.
Yep.
I didn't know the first thing it does when you hook it up to the internet the first time, it goes around after it's charged and it goes around and maps
your house,
your home. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And so
that's why I haven't gotten one.
Yeah, I didn't know all that. So I ended up, that was money down the drain. And so I saw a video where apparently, you know, it's connected to the internet. So why does it need to be connected to the internet? Well, also what I saw was a video where one of those little doodads were going around and a lady was on the potty and that video hit the internet. How did it hit the internet? This is sounding a lot like the Ring video doorbell. And so remember about that where they were able to hack into people's video doorbells and all that? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I decided to throw the little sucker away and said, no, we're not doing this. And so, you know, that was money down the drain. It had been a few months. So that was quite a bit of money. But as I learned more, and I had no idea it maps your house. I just thought it goes running around until it hits a wall and keeps going, you know, and turns itself around. I did not know about the mapping. And so it's insanity. So we got rid of that. All right. The next thing is, okay, there is a new movie. It's a documentary. It's a 7-part series. It's called The Religion Business. And the subtitle is And the Nonprofit Goliath. Okay. Nonprofit. You mean like 501c3? Yes, Michelle. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there is a clip that Lieutenant Mark Taylor has found that he wants to show you. So let's take a look. Talking about Paula.
Pastor Mac, we're going to walk in 5, 4, 3, 2, walk.
Let's sing of the goodness of God. God, we want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to worship you this morning.
You reap excellence if you sow effort, but you have to sow in order to reap. Have you been sowing in good deeds? Have you been sowing in repentance? Have you been sowing in faith? Have you been sowing in Bible reading and prayer? Have you been sowing so you can reap the grace and the mercy of God? Or have you been sowing things for your own lust and your own pleasures?
When I give to God, I am simply taking my hands off that which already belongs to Him.
Oh, Mrs. Jones was a Bible-toting woman, made me pray at night. Taught me of the Lord, said, baby, don't you worry, you'll turn out right. But the world got meaner after Granny died. Got me crying on my knees, trying to find a light. Walked into the church, saw the devil dancing in the pews. Don't make no sense, I'm a second from a breakdown.
God has to be first in your finances.
It's wrong to criticize leaders of the church, even if the criticism is true.
Don't make no sense, baby. I'm a second from a breakdown.
Inurements. It's a fun one. I don't choose my targets.
It's not a matter of resources. It's a matter of faith.
Trying to be a voice of reason, but I can't find the truth. Ha. Yeah, the world got meaner after Granny died. Got me crying on my knees, trying to find a light. Walked into the church, saw the devil dancing in the pew, singing out, yeah, don't make no sense. I'm a second from a breakdown.
Tithing becomes a precious privilege. tithing will keep your name enrolled among the people of God and protect you in the day of vengeance and burning.
May Jesus Christ use me as his glory.
I have some questions about their financials, and I feel if I give them money, I just should be able to ask questions without feeling threatened or turned away.
People crying and dying, knowing it's coming.
The Bible says that God will supply that need according.
And your heart and my heart hunger for relationships.
When we pray to survive, endure, make it through, that's a sick prayer.
Hello? Isn't that like the definition of endearment?
You are what I call a kiddie pool Christian.
People come to church at their most vulnerable, point. And all the money that's funding all this bull is given by these vulnerable people. And then there's these other people playing chess with their money.
Okay, that was actually the trailer for it. Producer Ron does have the video that I was talking about with Paula White. Let's take a look.
Can she not be removed? She's pastor president till death. She has total veto power of the board. But now you have to find Jesus through her. This woman is whispering into the president of the United States' ear. If Paula White's bylaws don't prove that the structure of religious organizations in the U.S. can be a total sham, I don't know what else would. And here's the kicker. Any religious institution, any church, whether it be 2 members or 20 million members, plays by the exact same rule book that Paula White plays by.
So this is Nathan Affel, and I had the privilege of being able to speak with him and get to meet him. And this is the Religion Business 7-part documentary that just released 2 days ago. And the reason that I say that is because what we are seeing in the corruption and the things that are happening that are in the local churches that are happening right in front of our eyes. But there is so much that comes into nonprofit corporations and paperwork and things that cannot be touched by bylaws and certain paperwork that is put into play. I want you to be very careful on where you are learning, who you are listening to, and the church that you're attending. And I pray that this blesses you. And go check out Religion Business 7-part documentary. It'll bless you. It'll open your eyes. And it'll let you see the corruption that's happening. God bless.
Now, notice what he said there in the beginning. He said, whispering in the president's ear. Where have we heard that before? God's prophetic word was saying the almost exact verbiage, whispering in the king's ear. That's what this is all about right here. Now, he's exposing Paula White on a level here that's even more than what I've been exposing. I haven't seen this documentary. I'm probably will watch it at some point because it looks pretty good to me. And he's also talking about the nonprofit corporations. The 501c3s here, guys.
I have reached out to them, and so we'll see about having them on the show and covering this a little bit more in depth. So just let everybody know. We'll see about that. Okay. When I was watching the trailer to the 7-part documentary, I wrote down a question that came to my mind, and it was, how many of you have given to a church and never had a clue as to how the money was spent? I guess also I would say, how many of you have given to a church where the pastors are driving great cars and wearing great clothing and you're struggling to pay your electric bill? I saw that going on.
Yep.
I see it all the time. People worried about paying in that tithe.
The widow's mite. How about the little old lady that's sitting in the back of the church? So it's just what she has, believing for the blessing that these hucksters, these deceivers are up there telling her she's going to get, and all while not knowing or realizing she's sowing into the Baal Babylonian system. It's the wrong system that she's sowing into. Now, look, the devil will give you a return to make it look good or to make you believe or give you the facade that he's their blessing, that God's blessing you. No, that's not what's going on. That's what's going on with most of this. You know, God can't bless something that's part of the Baal Babylonian system. You can't sit here and see, this is the problem with the churches. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I know it's a crude analogy, but you cannot bring deliverance to a prostitute when she's in the middle of fornicating. The same thing holds true with the church. You can't bring deliverance to a church who's in the middle of fornicating with the whore of Babylon. And that's what the churches are doing through these systems.
Yeah. Well, it's something that you've always said, which is what you always say, that the systems are what comes under the judgment.
Right. So
And
it is under judgment. It is under judgment right now.
Yeah. Eyes of a Lady is saying, can you air the documentary for us to watch? The problem is that they're charging for it. It's like $21.99 for the 7-part documentary series, because we've already looked into that. I have reached out to them, certainly want to talk with them and see about maybe having them on and talking about this a little bit more in depth. And so they would be here the whole show. So we'll look at that and play some more clips. So anyways, okay. And Kazadu says, where can you find the documentary? It's on the religionbusiness.com. I don't think it's doing very well. And so is my impression. I don't think it's gotten a lot of traction. And I'm looking to try to help them potentially with that by having them on the show. So, okay, the next one is, I've been saying this to my kids, and I'm so glad I found this video. As soon as I saw it, I was shouting from the rooftops, this is what I've been talking about. In fact, I sent it to my entire family in our text chat. You know, we all have a family chat. So the narrative fed to us, okay, when it comes to our families and what should happen and what does success look like and all of that kind of stuff. And so let's take a look. The guy says a broke black village. No, honey, it's the American family, and it's not just the black families. Let's take a look.
Let me say something that might sound radical in America today, but it's normal everywhere else. Your child does not have to leave home at 18. No more sons and daughters being kicked out just because they turned the age of a voting booth. That's not freedom. That's fragmentation. You see, America didn't just break up the village. It commodified it. They took a household of 10 people, parents, children, elders, grandkids, and broke it into 3 nuclear families, each with their own mortgage, each with their own set of bills, each with their own set of cars, and each with their own stress. Then they sold you back your own village in the form of daycares, nursing homes, family reunions, and therapy bills. We used to raise children together. Now we raise funds just to afford babysitters. We used to care for our own elders in the back room of the house. Now we place them in facilities and visit them once a month, if that. We used to live under one roof, fight under one roof, forgive under one roof. Now we sign leases in silence. We burn gas to visit each other and forget birthdays we used to share over one pot of stew. Now, let me be clear. America didn't just do this out of convenience. It did it out of strategy, because a fragmented village is easier to sell to. 3 households means that you have to buy 3 fridges, 3 Netflix accounts, 3 loan payments, 3 people chasing a lie that was once held together by love. And while they sold you the dream of independence, they became billionaires by making your family dependent on these systems. Now, let me share with you what the scariest part is. These billionaires, they don't want to stop at billions. They're chasing trillionaire status. And that kind of money doesn't just buy islands or elections. It buys nations. When you have that kind of wealth, you don't just think you're successful. You start to feel like a god. And gods don't ask for permission. They build private cities. They privatize your water, buy farmland, and own every app your family uses to stay connected. So what's the solution? Black families need to rotate their income inside their family, inside your community. You have to keep your grown children close and let grandma stay. Build a second room instead of sending your brother off to start over, and make that household a microeconomy again. Because we are going to need the village more than ever to survive what's coming. So before I go, these billionaires and politicians are right now banking on the fact that black people don't remember how a village works. But memory is a weapon and unity is armor. Let's stop playing their game and start remembering ours. Let's move.
I just want to add real quick also that in the studies that I've done on this topic, that a lot of times what you find is when young people move out and they go and they live by themselves, they're separated from their families, they have the stresses of paying rent and all the different things and kind of reality of how to write a check and do all of that. What it can also lead to is that alienation. They're lonely, they get depressed. So it makes no sense. My kids are at home. They're 19 and 21, doing great. They're saving their money and they're being wise with their funds, and we are helping them. It's easy to support, it's easy to help children that help themselves. And I understand that, but I think it's very important that we don't just think, oh, well, you're 18, you need to get kicked out of the house now, and go live by yourself in an apartment. And how does any of that make sense? And so I think that we've bought into a big fat lie here in America. I have sold many homes to Indian families and Asian families, and the level of success, the level of respect. And I mean, you don't hardly even sell an Indian family a home that isn't 3 stories, a basement with 2 stories, so that way all 3 generations can live together. And so that's just the way it is here, even in America, when Indian families are buying. So just want to mention that I saw a big difference through my real estate career in selling new home construction to the different ethnic backgrounds. And so big difference, big. All right, Mark, anything you want to add to that?
I'm good on that one.
Okay, let's go on ahead and move forward. I definitely want you to weigh in on this one. So the IRS issues game-changing new guidance to churches as Trump notches another win for Christians. Okay, explain this.
All right. So here comes Lieutenant Taylor having to be the bad guy again. So I've been getting inundated with emails, comments, social media, all of this stuff. Everybody's cheering for this so-called win. Look, it's a very minute micro win, as all this is for the churches. That's all this is. This is just giving them the ability to speak politics from the platform and not be held accountable by the IRS. That's all this is, guys. The fact of the matter is, nothing has changed. Everything's the same for the fact that they're under the 501c3. The best thing Trump could ever do for these churches is strip them of the 501c3 status. That's the best thing he could ever do. That would strip them from a federal level. Now, here I go again, because again, a lot of people say, well, Mark, if you get rid of the 501c3, I could be a 508. I could be this classification. Guys, you got to understand, this 501c3 issue is not going away. It is a very technical issue. It is a very deep issue. Even those, and I'm going to say something that's going to make a lot of people mad here, because they've gone away from the 501c3 and they've done a 508. It doesn't matter. You see, I get emails all the time, Michelle. People ask me, well, Mark, I can't open a bank account unless I'm a 501c3 or I'm an LLC or this, that, and the other. Jesus only had a treasurer. You don't have to have all of that stuff, guys. You don't. The problem is we're built in America and all over the world, actually, at this point, thinking that church has to be run like a business. It's not a business. That's why God told me years ago, church is a dirty business, because it was never intended to be a business. But because the president, as much as I love and respect him, he thinks that it's supposed to be run like a business. He has a business mindset, which I understand that. But this is where Paula White, these demons up there that are advising him, if I was up there advising the president, I'd be saying, strip them of their 501c3. That would at least get one level of this demonic suppression off of the church at the federal level. Now they still have the state to deal with because they're still incorporated. We've talked about this 1,000 times. You cannot be incorporated. What is the definition of incorporation? One of the definitions is that you are a fictitious entity. What does that mean in the spirit realm? It means that you don't exist. Your voice is not being heard when you're screaming out and crying out in the spirit realm, taking on spiritual warfare. Nothing's happening because you don't exist, because you are incorporated. You answer to the state. So let's say that if Trump did get rid of the 501c3, best case scenario, now you fall under the headship of the state. So you get someone like Gavin Newsom comes in there and says, you will now preach the LGBTQ, or you will do this, that, and the other. Legally, they can come in and shut you down. So what does that tell you? If legally they can do that, it means you answer to someone else as a headship. Jesus is not the headship of your ministry. Bail is under the 501c3. The state is if you're incorporated. You have two levels of governing over you, federal and state. And this is why the people in the church system are in the slavery system. They're still in slavery. They want to be in slavery. But you have to break free and become part of the ecclesia, the true ecclesia of God, which is people who are not in that system. So this is nothing but a little microcosm of a win who is to, it's just like this little nugget they're throwing out there at you. Oh, hey, look here, guys. You know what I mean? It's still keeping you in slavery. It's still keeping you spiritually pinned down by demonic forces that you are in covenant with.
I think it's interesting too, because people just keep, even this weekend, I had someone say, what church do you attend? I was like, I'm not going to church. I mean, first of all, I'm not going to a church building. You can have a relationship with God. You don't have to go to church. You can be the hands and feet of Jesus. Believe you me, a lot of my viewers who are donating, and we're doing that in North Carolina. What do you think that is? That's being the church.
Right.
That's being the hands and feet of Jesus, going and helping people that desperately need it. And so you don't need a 501c3 corporation. Just don't need it.
Well, look, here, someone in the comments just put, here's a different definition of corporation, right? Corpse dash eration. Corpse dash eration means dead entity. Very good. Proud of whoever that is.
Yep.
Way to do your research. Excellent. Excellent job.
That's right. That's right. But you don't need, and I think so many people are having such a hard time wrapping their heads around that. And, I remember you saying years ago when God gave you that word to say, Mark, that you said, this probably be the most controversial word that I ever give.
Yep.
Has it been?
Yeah. By far, because of the attacks that come in, because people disagree, or the pastors. This is why I've been blacklisted off a lot of these shows. There are many reasons why I've been blacklisted, but that's one of the biggest ones. But so I mean, I'm going to use that, by the way. Who was that? Die Laughing. So I just screenshotted that. Thank you for that, guys. I appreciate that. I'm going to use that.
So Kevin says, wait a minute now. Kevin says, don't forsake the assembling. So, well, I assemble all the time with other believers.
Why can't you assemble in a home group?
Yeah. I mean,
why can't you assemble online with a Zoom call?
Exactly.
So again, guys, the anointing can flow over a Zoom call. Look, I do a Zoom call with my prayer team from time to time. Not very often, but from time to time, we'll do a Zoom call. And trust me, we're from all ends of the country, east, north, south, east, and west. All of us are. And the anointing is flowing. Trust me, because the discernment, the wisdom, the knowledge, all of it, revelation is coming. The Lord is there with us, and we are discerning things. We're picking up things. The Lord is speaking to us. So yes, God can use technology in today's time if that's the only way that you can assemble.
Well, I mean, to me, I think I'm assembling even around my dinner table. We talk about God. I'm constantly teaching my kids about God and about the scriptures and about, to whom much is given, much is required, a ton of that. Well, so they're going to get more God and more of the relationship side than they would in any 501c3 church anyways.
Absolutely. So you take somebody that's handicapped, God bless them, that maybe can't physically get into a church. You're going to tell me that person's going to go to hell? No. Yeah. Give me a break. If all they have is technology to come in as a group and worship as a group, or to discern and get revelation as a group, then God's there. Where two or more gathered, he's there. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so Don't Ever Take Away My Freedom says that I have a number of viewers, by the way, Mark, that we've got that watch, that have written me and told me that they've gotten out of the 501c3 system and told me about experiences and different things that they've experienced after, or even trying to get out of it. But this particular viewer says the discernment is greater when one comes out of the church system. In the system, people are blind. I'm horrified.
Yep.
Yes.
You will notice a huge, once you come out of the system and repent and renounce being in the system, divorce Baal and remarry God, you will notice a massive difference.
Okay. And aren't we assembling now? Don't we assemble every Monday? If you haven't seen Friday's show, I would recommend people go back and watch Friday's show. That was a spirit-led show. And I make that very clear. I've had many people write me. In fact, I had a lady who was almost 80 years old say that she was watching late, I think it was Sunday night, and said that it was in her lifetime the most she had ever been uplifted and inspired and encouraged. And she's almost 80. So, but see, that isn't me. That's the Holy Spirit. Those are the different words that I shared, and the teaching and the things that I had been through. That show is amazing. That's an assembling. I've seen throughout today's show many people praying for one another. Isn't that part of assembling?
Right.
So it somehow, so many people, it's just like I've been saying, we've been programmed to take a pill. We've also been programmed that you're not at church unless you're at church, you haven't assembled, and that's just a lie from the pit of hell. So we're going to move on, because that's just I think we've made our point. So Darla Ann 888 says members of family do a home church and we love it. Yes, exactly. So I hope that helps. Okay, so the next one. So I think we've had a lot of this kind of stuff, and so we're kind of done with the news. But before we get your final thoughts, I saw something I just thought you might be interested in. This is what it looks like when a nonchalant firefighter arrives on the scene.
Hey, have y'all seen Cap? I think this is the call I'm supposed to be at. I'm just not 100% sure. Yeah, I've got this car. Yep. Hey, we okay? Yeah. Looks like you got hit by the airbag. Ooh, it looks like it hurts. Yeah, try not to move your neck. Yeah, just sit still there. Yeah, it doesn't look the best. How you feeling? Is the accident your fault? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna lie and just say no, what we figured out, but I mean, yeah, you plowed right through this dude. So, I mean, do you normally drive with your eyes closed or no? Okay, I mean, I was just asking. Yeah, she was asking if it was her fault. I was like, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's no really getting around that. Wow. You want coffee pouch? You sure? Okay, the cinnamon roll. All right. Okay, ma'am. Hey, real quick. Good news and bad news. Okay. Bad news is your leg is chopped off. Okay. All right, I know. Just relax. Try to roll. Listen. Good news is we found the leg about 200 feet that way. Okay. So we're gonna try to grab that and see if we can't preserve it. All right. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't know if they can do anything. I'm just want to let you know it's not lost and gone forever. Hey, buddy. Hey, how are you? How old are you? 5? Wow, that's a big age. You want to be a firefighter when you grow up? No? Okay, well, fine. All right, man, listen, we're going to try to get you out of this vehicle here in just a minute, okay? Hey, I'm not supposed to be the one to tell you this, but they're pretty sure that you were drinking. So, yeah, just be ready for that. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, I got you. I'm just trying to warn you ahead of time. Yeah, okay. All right, good luck.
Do you relate to any of that, Mark?
I mean, that's a little overboard, but I mean, you know what I mean. Yeah, he had a lot of trigger points there, that's for sure. Not to mention the fact I highly doubt he's a real firefighter with that beard. So.
Oh yeah. All right. Okay, so I saw this video. We got to say it. So this boy, he sees Jesus. Take a look at this video. It's amazing.
If y'all haven't seen this yet, you have to watch this.
Hi, Jesus. You're so beautiful. Jesus, when are you coming back? We need you. Hi, Dad. Do you see me skateboarding?
His dad passed away a year ago.
Oh my God. He is so pretty. You have so beautiful hair. Give me a hug, Dad. I miss you, Dad. It's so pretty up here. There's so many flowers and butterflies. There's a lot of butterflies in heaven.
Kason.
Oh, God, it's so pretty.
Kason.
He has fire eyes.
Kason.
Yeah, he does. Papa. Hi, Papa. I miss you. Give me a hug, please. I miss you, Papa. Dad, you have big muscles. You're so strong. I miss you, Dad. Don't go away, please. Don't.
Is this normal? Okay.
I love you, Jesus. I love you, God.
Wow.
Yeah, his father had passed away a year before.
Wow.
So it was amazing. All right. And then when you praise and worship, have you got Jesus? Let's take a look at this video.
Listen to what he said. He said, I got Jesus. I got Jesus. I got Jesus. All right. Y'all don't hear me. All right. Did anybody got Jesus? Anybody got Jesus? Anybody got Jesus? Yeah. Anybody got Jesus? I said, if you got Jesus, hey, you got a mighty good doctor. All right. I said, if you got Jesus, you got a mighty good friend. All right. Can I ask y'all a question? Can I ask y'all a question? Anybody got Jesus? Anybody got Jesus? Anybody got Jesus? Anybody got Jesus? Woo! Help me praise the Lord. All right. All right. Don't you. All right. Good God Almighty. Help me lift them.
All right. I had to show
That guy's not a worship leader. He should be.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have him on the show and lead us through worship one day.
There you go.
All right, Lieutenant Mark Taylor, what are your closing thoughts?
Guys, just keep the president in prayer, because right now he's got people speaking in his ear and in positions that really should not be there. I know this is everybody's different opinion, especially when it comes to the Epstein files or this, that, and the other. Everybody's got a different opinion about stuff right now, and they're saying, well, the MAGA movement's divided. It's not really divided. I don't necessarily see that this is a bad thing for the MAGA movement. Actually, I kind of see it as a healthy thing, to be honest with you. God's going to persevere, but be praying, because people like Paula White, Kristi Noem, all these people he's got in these positions, a lot of these people should not even be there right now. And what I'm concerned about the most is what I've been saying, that there's a moment coming where God's going to get his attention, because the first has not done it. The assassination attempt did not do it. I think that this is a moment of King David, if he's not careful, where King David lost a child. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen to him. I'm just saying that God took the child for a reason, because David had done what he did. But then also, this could also be a Saul moment, where Saul didn't do what God told him to do, but more importantly, he didn't do what God told him to do, how he told him to do it in detail, which is what got Saul to lose his anointing. And so you're seeing a little bit of this, like with the stuff with Ukraine. He kept bragging how he's going to be done in 24 hours. We're 7.5 months into this, and now all of a sudden we're sending weapons over to Ukraine. So I've been warning about this. I'm seeing this slow turn here where I don't want to say he's losing his anointing here, but something's happening to the effect that things aren't going quite as planned, I think, that he had hoped. And so we just need to be praying for the president to get the right people around him, for God to open his eyes and ears, so that he doesn't lose the anointing. Look, I want to see the president succeed at everything that God prophesied in here. God prophesied this man's agenda, or America's agenda, before he came into office. So I want to see the president succeed, because if the president succeeds, America and the rest of the world succeeds. And that's what we need to be praying about, guys. And if people ask me, Mark, what do I pray? Go to my prophetic words at swordrescue.com. It's all there for free. Use the prophetic words as your prayer points. Use them as warfare, guys.
That's so good. Jay Crider says, okay, thanks, Mark. We love you, and we are praying for you and family, as well as Michelle. Praise the Lord Jesus. That's so good. Thank you. Thank you, Mark, for all of that. And thanks for being here today. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's so good. Glad that Mark was able to be with us today. I thought that was awesome that we got to talk about a number of the headlines right now. There's so much going on. I wanted to remind everybody too about the magnesium benefits chart or the magnesium benefits list and the first fruits chart, the comparison chart. Many people have been downloading that, and we just wanted to make sure everybody knew about that. There's some great tools, resources on godlygranny.com. We received a review that I wanted to read with you. This is another person who had an addiction to chapstick, and so said, I have chapped lips most of my life and have tried every chapstick available. After trying the Godly Granny lip mask and lip scrub, I threw out all my stash of lip balms. I wasted so much money on products that really never healed or healed my chapped lips. So happy to have found Godly Granny lip mask and scrub, a customer for life. Okay, so hope that helps you. I know that's like a real thing I had never heard of until we started Godly Granny back about 8 months ago. Never heard of that. That was so weird. Also, I'd love to hear if you have a home, like a home group. You know, that's one of the things that Mark Taylor's been saying for years is get out of the 501c3 church and turn around and start your own home group if you don't have one that you can go to. And so just keep that in mind. I hope that helps you. And we will see you here tomorrow. We got a big show tomorrow. The Worm Queen is going to be here, and we're going to be talking about how to detox the right way and what all to do, and not in a way that isn't using ivermectin. So there's different reasons why people need ivermectin. And I know many of you have only been using ivermectin to detox because you just wanted a detox. But that's not the only way to detox. And so the Worm Queen is going to be here, and we're going to be covering all the details. It's going to be really good. I'm excited about it. So we'll see you right here next time on the Michelle Moore Show.
Protect your 401k and IRA by converting a portion of it into gold. Gold has more than doubled the S&P 500 and the Dow over the last 25 years. Request your free information from Universal Coin and Bullion. Call now to speak to a gold expert.
Toxic chemicals are everywhere, even in products we've used for generations. Now there's a replacement solution, Godly Granny. Godly Granny products are nutraceutical, clean products with purpose. All our products like skin creams, bath bombs, lip scrubs, deodorants, and more are free of the Godly Granny 5 Dirty Dozen list. That's 60 harmful chemicals many other companies use that you'll never find in our products. Go to godlygranny.com today. Be sure and use the discount code Michelle10 at checkout to receive 10% off your entire order.
Trying to get healthier is full of can'ts.
Come on, Grandma, come play. Come play with us, Grandma.
I can't move. So you go to the doctor.
Your body can't figure this out. So take this, and this.
Because your body can't. But is it true your body can't? Maybe your body can. All you need is a little support. Wave Watch is a wearable device that uses sound wave therapy to help your body heal itself. Studies are showing that all cells in our bodies resonate at unique frequencies, and specific sounds can stimulate them. Your body can deal with pain, so you can play hard.
WaveWatch comes with a 1-year manufacturer's warranty for defects and flaws, and you can upgrade to an additional warranty for water damage and breakage. Go to wavewatch.com. Be sure to use the discount code Michelle100 at checkout to receive $100 savings on your purchase. Did you know your cell phone emits radiation that has been linked to increased risk of certain types of cancers? This is why manufacturers include hidden warnings to keep your phone away from your body. And what's worse is that children are more susceptible to the potentially damaging effects. Safe Sleeve for cell phones is a case specifically designed to block radiation. Its shielding technology integrated into the case has been tested in a third-party FCC-accredited lab to block over 99% of RF and 92% of ELF radiation emitted by your phone. It also functions as a stand for watching videos and comes in a magnetically detachable style for some devices. Safe Sleeve also offers anti-radiation cases for tablets and laptops and has free shipping in the U.S. plus discounted worldwide shipping is available. Go to truthtalkamerica.com today and click on the Safe Sleep banner on the home page. Use the discount code FIRST10 at checkout for 10% off your first order.
For Michelle's social media links, go to MichelleMooreShow.com.